What's good, everybody? It's John. Come back at you another video. So this video is going to be a reminder about your joy, right? And with this video, I want to tell you guys that you can choose happiness at all times. Now, I know this might sound a bit foreign for some people out there because I've heard it so many times throughout my life that people will try to make the case that they can't control the emotions. They'll try to make the case that it's not their fault for feeling the way they feel, and they'll try to find any legitimate reason to explain it. And I now understand that that has always been an excuse, right? It has always been an excuse because you have the power to choose the feeling that you want to feel, right? You don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel negative when things happen in your life. You can choose how you want to feel, and that is with choosing how you want to feel. That is with responding rather than reacting. See, most people have been conditioned to have knee-jerk reactions whenever something happens. If an event happens, they immediately can process an event as being good or bad based on how they react to it, based on what they think is the outcome of this event. But what you need to understand is you can choose how you want to respond to that, right? There's a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is basically whatever comes to mind, like whatever is your first, and I don't like using the same word in the definition, right? But reacting to what happens is basically your very first reaction of your first thought that comes to mind about this event, right? And that is how most people have been conditioned by their environment. They've been conditioned by other people. But true power comes with being in control. True power comes with being in control of yourself. And true power comes from operating from a place where you are not reacting to life, you are simply responding. When an event happens in your life, when something unfolds, someone that responds to life is someone that will take a deep breath, analyze the situation, and then think of what is the best case scenario, right? Someone that responds to life is someone that will see the event unfold and they'll say, you know what? This might not appear to be a good thing, but it will. It will be. Even if I don't know the reason right now, something good is going to come out of this, right? That is someone responding, right? And the interesting part about it is you don't even need evidence to operate that way or believe that, right? You can choose to feel that way because at the end of the day, feelings are internal, right? Emotions and feelings are absolutely internal. Why? Because the thoughts that you think in your mind lead to the emotion that you feel, which ultimately, dictate the actions that you take. But in this case, right, because we're focused on emotions, the thoughts that you think lead to the emotion that you feel. If an event happens and your first reaction is that this is bad, then you are obviously going to feel negative emotion because you told yourself this is bad. But if an event happens and you tell yourself, you know what, this is okay, everything's going to be fine, everything's going to work itself out, you're not going to be worried, you're not going to be anxious, you're not going to be concerned, right? You have the freedom to choose that. See, most people will say that they can't control their emotions as a cover-up, as an excuse to justify the way that they are, right? Because that is a flawed way of operating, right? And the reality is a lot of people don't want to change the way that they are, even if there's some elements to themselves that if they worked on it and improve on it, they can end up being a significantly better version of themselves, right? Most people struggle with looking in the mirror. It is so much easier to put the blame on other people or external events or other things than it is to put the blame on yourself, right? For you to accept the reality that it might be time for you to improve and get better, right? It's so much easier to shift the blame on that person did this to me, or this event happened to me, or, right, to justify the way you're feeling, or to say that you can't control your emotions as an excuse to not grow, to not mature, right? You can choose how you want to feel because you can choose the thoughts that you want to think, right? And some people will say, oh, well, you can't choose the thoughts that you want to think. Of course, there's going to be from time to time, there's going to be thoughts that might creep into your mind, right? But you can still be aware of those thoughts and kick them out. You can still be aware of those thoughts and accept that if these are negative thoughts, that these are limiting beliefs or that these are faulty beliefs and that they don't belong, right? Some people have faulty ideas and faulty beliefs of not being good enough, right? Just imagine, for some people, that is their reality. I look at that and I think that's absolutely silly because I know that I can be, do, or have anything, right? So I will kick that idea out of my mind. And if I kick that idea out of my mind and replace it with something better, replace it with something positive, then I'll begin to feel good, right? I'm saying all this because you can choose happiness at all times. You can choose to be happy despite your situation, despite your set of circumstances. And those are the people that effectively navigate through life, essentially being invincible. Because just imagine, if you can choose happiness and at all times, at every moment in your life, but just imagine being that person that chooses happiness. You will effectively walk through life being invincible, because then it doesn't matter what happens in your life, right? Because you will still be happy. Everything will be fine. Everything will be taken care of. Why? Because you know from past experiences that somehow, some way, everything does handle itself and everything does get taken care of. And if you're choosing happiness all the time, then that means you are fulfilling your life's purpose, because you were put here on earth to experience outrageous joy. That is it. So if you choose happiness moment to moment, if you choose happiness all the time, then you're effectively living your life purpose. You're living a fulfilling life, right? And it's so much more enjoyable to live a life happy than to live a life frustrated, right? I don't think anyone wants to live a life always feeling frustrated, worried, anxious, concerned, right? Like, everyone wants to live a life that's relaxing. Everyone wants to live a life that's fun, that's enjoyable, that's easygoing, right? You want it to be a fun adventure, and you can choose that, right? You can choose to be happy and excited about the future, right? Some people are afraid of the future because the future is the unknown. But if you believe that the world is a nice place, that the world is a great place, the world is a beautiful place, that the universe is a friendly universe that is looking out for you, that has your best interest in mind, right? Then you wouldn't be concerned, you wouldn't be worried about the future. If anything, you'd be excited for the future, because you know that only good things lie ahead, that the best has yet to come, right? You can choose to believe that. And because you can choose to believe that, that means you can choose, that will lead to happiness, right? You can choose to be happy all the time. You don't have to let the negative people cloud your mind. You don't have to let the negative opinions, the things that other people have to say, affect your judgment, right? You can freely choose any idea, then that means you are free to choose your thoughts. And if you are free to choose your thoughts are what ultimately leads to how you feel. So you can choose good feeling thoughts. You can always look for better feeling thoughts, right? A lot of people are simply just conditioned to just react, which means if you're just reacting, then that means you're not thinking, because you're just acting upon impulse. That means you're not thinking. And if you're not thinking, then that means you are effectively creating by default. That means you are not operating consciously, right? Most people, whether you want to believe this or not, most people are not actually always actively thinking, right? A lot of people are effectively sleepwalking through life, right? They live a life that was, told by other people, under the direction of other people, right? Rather than them choosing the life that they want to live, right? Rather than them consciously choosing how they want to react. Most people are not consciously choosing the ideas or the thoughts that they want to think, which means that they're creating by default, and the life that they're living was a life that was created by default, without them ever consciously making decisions, right? When I say that you can choose to be happy all the time, that's you making a conscious choice to be happy, because whether you want to believe this to be true or not, it is true, right? Any events that happen are not good or bad, they just are, which means just as though you can find something bad in any situation, you can also find something good, right? Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have been conditioned to react negatively. There's people who are conditioned to spot the negative, because that is how they've been conditioned, right? It's quick for them to spot the flaws in other people, to spot problems, to spot this, to spot that, right? Everything that's wrong with the world. And so if you can do that, then you can also be quick to spot the good thing. You can condition yourself to find the positive in everything. And if you can find the positive in all things, then that will help you become happier, right? You can choose to have an attitude of gratitude, which means you being grateful for your life, being grateful for the things that you have, and being grateful for the things that are on its way, that you know is on its way, that have not yet arrived, right? I'm grateful for the things that I have in my life. I'm grateful that, I have my basic needs met. I'm grateful that I'm on the right track as far as me building towards my dream. I'm grateful for all the things I have in my life, right? You can have an attitude of gratitude because there's plenty of other people out there. Reality is that they have it a lot worse than you, right? Things could be a lot worse for you, and they're not. So that's more than enough reason to smile. The fact that you woke up today, more than enough reason to smile, right? Some people, you notice how some people, they'll just wake up with a bad attitude. They'll just wake up in a bad mood, right? You can do the same thing and just wake up in a happy mood and just wake up positive, right? The same reason why people don't need a reason to be angry or don't need a reason to be in a bad mood, right? Be that person where you don't need a reason to be in a happy mood, right? Just as though you can freely choose to feel bad, why not freely choose to feel good? Reality is most people don't need a reason to feel bad, but those same people typically need a reason to feel good. And that's kind of silly to think, right? So that right there tells you that you can choose whatever feeling that you want to feel, right? That it is in fact a choice. It's just the people that don't consciously choose it will make up any excuse that, that they can't control the emotion, that they can't control how they react, that they can't, right? And that's all been an excuse. You can choose happiness all the time. You can choose to look at the positive in all things going on, in all things in your life. And as you choose to do that, then you will find and experience more happiness in your life. You'll realize that everything's okay, everything's fine, that everything's going according to plan, that nothing is broken, that you're not behind in life, right? That everything's okay and everything will be fine. And if you choose to be happy at all times, then it'll be a much more enjoyable experience because you're making the most out of the limited time you have here, right? Life is too short to always be angry and frustrated and to be, to be experiencing all these bad energy, all of the baggage that people carry around. Life is too short for that, right? Just have fun and enjoy it, right? And make the most out of this existence because you're only here, as far as we're concerned, for one lifetime. So might as well just choose to be happy and be that person where you don't need a reason to be happy. You're just, every single day you jump out of bed, you're just smiling, right? Even though nothing is changing in your life, you're just choosing to be happy. And if you decide to do that, you'll see how quickly your life will improve. So that rest of the video. Enjoy the video, to leave a like and subscribe as we on the road to many subscriber, guys. So once again, it's Joel and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.